without a lick of food experience, I opened a food company. I started this in hopes of helping individuals with disabilities get a job. I went in blindfolded and I was like, all right, we're gonna figure it out.
What are some mistakes that you've made along the way?
Crazy wild story. A client stole all the money. So I ended up suing him and I won. Entrepreneurship is a very social but very lonely world. If it's meant to be, it will work out.
How do you pull it off? What's been your proudest moment?
Being on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, huge accomplishment.
Wow. How do you just keep going?
I'll be honest with you.
Folks, welcome back to another episode of The Locals. My name is Ryan Gladsofer, and I'm going around the Chicagoland area spotlighting courageous entrepreneurs. And folks, this video is for you if, one, you're interested in learning about business and want to learn from other fellow entrepreneurs. Two, if you are interested in delicious protein snacks and you want to try something different. And number three, learn about a business that is inclusive. This business focuses on hiring people with disabilities. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Angelica Ford from Fueled by AF. Angelica.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fueled by AF. What sparked it?
Back in COVID, when we all had nothing to do, I was training for an Ironman and I was really frustrated. Shoving this whole bar in my bike pouch never really worked right. And then you're riding a bike for 100+ miles. So like you have to figure out how to eat while you're doing this.
Right.
So I came up with these bites. I was personal training a lot of individuals with disabilities, and one day I gave it to them and they were like, we love this. An aha moment for me. I'm like, this is a unique demographic that struggles to find nutritious food that they love. My two worlds came clashing into one, and I was like, I think we could make this a business, and without a lick of food experience other than scooping ice cream at Overweiss, I opened a food company. So, and here we are today, 4 years later.
That's incredible. And not knowing how to navigate that, where'd that confidence come from?
I have this saying, ignorance is bliss. If I knew how hard it was, I probably wouldn't have done it. I'm really good at going with my gut intuitions. Hindsight, it's probably good that I didn't know how hard this was, but on the other hand, I think I've learned a ton along the way.
Who designed the packaging? It's quite beautiful, it's vibrant.
Thank you. Yes, we have designers because we don't let me design anything. If it was my choice, everything would be in a Ziploc bag. So like, I'm
Keep it plain and simple.
Yeah, like I am not crazy fancy.
Tell me a little bit about the bites that you create and the products that you have here.
So these protein bites were designed to go into the bike pouch. And my biggest pet peeve, if I didn't want to finish the whole thing, like what am I going to do with it? Like wrap it up in this wrapper and it's falling apart everywhere?
It's messy.
It is messy. And a lot of our customers were like, I love this because like I can split it up amongst my kids. 90% of our retail are these small packages of bites. This is like what people find in the airport. This is what's on the go. And then we keep these ones exclusive to our site because they're a little bit of a variety pack.
So you have these bites. What about these jars? Tell me a little bit about those.
We came out with 4 really unique nut butters. So we have pistachio butter. We call this legal crack. It's so good. This one I made after my grandparents. They're from Italy, so stracciatella means like little bits, little rags in Italian. The last one over there, it's macadamia butter that has dehydrated Honeycrisp apple powder in there, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and then a little bit of dehydrated maple.
Of all the flavors, what is your favorite?
I eat cinnamon raisin every morning. Everyone's afraid of raisins. I'm like, I don't know why. Someone told me it's nature's poop, and I was like, I don't agree with you.
That's fantastic.
Like kale's really more disgusting than a raisin, so please.
So talk to me about the purpose behind the company.
When I was training these individuals with disabilities, they struggle to find a job, or like they would get hired by a grocery store. And it was like, well, you can just stock the shelves. It's like, well, but they actually have more skills than that.
Right,
and
you're
like,
already putting a limitation on them.
Right, when COVID happened, a lot of them were let go with no intention of rehiring, which is a shame. I think we can do something really different and really big, and I know how to like tap into their skill set and do things a little bit differently. So I wanted to take what I knew from the training and my experience with them and then take my product and have them make and sell it. And it went beyond what I thought they could do. Our kitchen is run by me and 3 women with autism, and we make 5,000 packages in a 4.5-hour shift.
That is impressive. What would you say makes you unique?
For a plant-based product, we have the highest amount of protein and lowest amount of sugar. My most exciting thing, I have a protein powder that I've formulated. A 10-year-old took our protein bits and stuck them in the microwave, and I was like, that is ridiculous. Like, that's disgusting. Put a Quest bar in the microwave, and this thing, it comes out like tar. Like, you could pave concrete with it. I like the idea of it being warm, like an actual chocolate chip cookie. I tested it the other day, and it tastes really delicious.
What's your background?
Literally bicep curls. I went to school for personal training. I have a dual major in kinesiology and a minor in business. Was in the health and fitness industry.
How did you start? Was there a brand that you aspired to be like?
I went in blindfolded and I was like, all right, we're gonna figure it out. I knew I had a recipe. I had experience filing for an LLC. I knew I needed to find a kitchen production space. So I went to an incubator space in the city and started there and took some classes. I had no experience in farmers markets, events, like nothing. Like the first event I showed up and the guy's like, where's your table? I was like, oh, we need tables.
Oh, that's needed.
I was like, okay, please hold. I like ran down the street to the Walmart, grabbed the table.
How did you fund this business?
So I am still self-funded to this day. Every time we make a profit and we grow, I reinvest into the company. Like, I do not pay myself. I pay all of our employees. I pay our contractors. During like 23 and 24, we saw a lot of young companies just like mine that took a ton of money from investors or VCs. People pulled away, and that's scary because like now you've created a huge home, right? And now you don't have that money to support it anymore. Maybe we're not growing as fast as other people, but like I know we're growing sustainably and we're doing it responsibly. Crazy wild story. A client from my first company who I was working with for a long time stole all the money. So I ended up suing him and I won.
That's one hell of a hurdle.
It was pretty brutal. It was like the roughest first year of business. Like everyone was like, are you really sure you want to do this? You can just like write it off and like say goodbye. And I was like, no, I promised people jobs. He taught me a lesson that like you can't trust everyone along the way. When I won my money back, I use that to rebrand and get the company going.
Why did you have to rebrand?
It comes down to the name. I had filed for a trademark. This is like a sign from above, like the day before we're going to court. I get this letter in the mail from the U.S. Trademark Association that pretty much the name that we chose for our product was actually owned by someone else 3 years prior. This is perfect because the name kind of really wasn't doing anything for us. We're gonna tell him he can have the name. We just want our money back. So he agreed, and so we signed all the documents. I'm like, by the way, that name's owned by someone else. Like, you can't do anything with it. So he was stupid enough not to know that, and I won my money back, and he got nothing, like he deserves. So it was a great win. The hardest part was in all of it, because he won the name, right? Like I can't use it. Right. I had to get all of that product off the internet, like off the shelves. We have to rebrand, reprint, and repackage. We won right before Christmas. We all know no one works from like Christmas to like January 5th.
That's very true, yes.
I had to get everything done and back on the shelf by February 14th. It's like nearly impossible to do. Like,
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. I was like, it really taught me how to stay really lean and really scrappy. I will try to figure it out myself, but I'm also not afraid to hire and ask people for help. Good example of this is like demoing at the grocery stores, right? Like I am very good at it. I found another woman-owned business that helps with demos. I think it's best that I pay them and save me some time so I can spend more time getting new accounts, setting up more things in manufacturing and formulating new flavors. Realistically, sometimes sitting in a grocery store is not the best use of my time.
You said you don't pay yourself in this business and you reinvest in all your employees and in the business itself. Do you work another job on the side? Like how do you pull it off?
How do I eat? How do I have enough money for a bottle of wine at the end of the week when I desperately need it? So I do run another company. Right when I graduated college, I go to the bank and I was like, I'm gonna open up a business. And the guy was like, doing what? And I was like, I'm gonna train some people. He's like, how much money are you gonna make a year? $150,000. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. He's like, how many clients do you have? I was like, none. Like, he was like, that's cute. It was very funny. I work about 30 hours a week on that company, you know, training people, helping individuals with disabilities get in fitness programs. I'm a partner with Northwestern, Shirley Ryan. I've been doing that for 8 years. That business is profitable and it keeps a roof over my head and food in my mouth and my wine budget healthy.
With your experience from your other business, how did that help you learn how to optimize your workspace for people with disabilities?
That's a great question. I made like minute, small changes is. For instance, instead of ordering mixing bowls that are all metal,
Okay.
the bottom of our mixing bowls have silicone on them so they don't slip. So if someone has hemiparesis, which means partial paralyzation, when they do something with their hand in the bowl, they can use that bowl without it sliding off the table. You're making like a simple adaptation, and that really helped me to make the first adaptive manufacturing plant in Chicago.
Talk about the different things that help make it functional.
Music was like a key element, getting people's tempo going.
Right.
Like, they're not playing Celine Dion, making you cry your heart out in a gym. They're playing really good music. If they struggle with speech, they get frustrated. If you play music that they know, they will sing the whole song without missing a word. Their speech was coming out a little bit better. I'm like, okay, this is helping us with communication. One thing with individuals with disabilities is when you keep the repetitiveness going, they're only getting faster.
There is no one set path to entrepreneurship.
Right.
How have you navigated your path, and what are some mistakes that you've made along the way?
Oh, my mistakes book is huge. Correct your mistakes financially responsibly. If you try to overcompensate a mistake and you start paying out the wazoo, then
Right.
you're gonna lose your business.
What do you attribute your relentlessness to? Is it to faith? Are your parents entrepreneurs? Like, do you have a background in that? How do you just keep going?
My dad is an entrepreneur. He's really successful. As a kid, I didn't get it, to be honest with you. Like, I watched my dad work crazy hours, like building his company. I grew up with a ton of learning disabilities. I struggled so hard in school. Learning disabilities are like my superpower, right? Like, that gave me a lot of strength and a different outlook on the world, and I think that's why I work with individuals with disabilities so well, because I'm not afraid to do something different, because I had to do it for myself.
Do you find yourself second guessing yourself often? Has there been any moments where you're like, oh, this might not work out?
I'll be honest with you, I think like imposter syndrome is like huge. Like, I don't think
It's terrible.
Oh, some days you're like sitting there like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I have a running joke. I was like, today I could have been a Walmart greeter and made more money than doing this.
Or like, this is never gonna work.
Moments like this happen more often than what people think. Like, I might have like the best morning ever, and then like something comes in and I'm like, what the hell, we should just close shop. I have like this like firm belief, like when these things happen, like if I should keep going, I should get a sign, right? And without fail, like someone in the community out of nowhere, completely unprompted, would be like, oh, like, I just saw your product in this store, like, I'm so proud of you. Voices of reassurance that you don't ask for, but like come up. I remember one day I was like, so disappointed. I waited like 4 months to get a call with a distributor to present my stuff, and this gentleman on the phone, like, he was having a bad day, took it out on me. And I was like extremely disappointed, because it was like one of the people we needed to get into a new account. And so I was like, what the hell? Like, this is horrible. Not even 2 minutes later, my phone rings, and it's a competitor to this other distributor. And he's like, we heard about you, we really want you. We can start next week. And it was like that. You kind of learn along the way to not take the blows too hard, because if it's meant to be, it will work out.
With the roller coaster ride that you have had, for any new entrepreneurs, what would be your advice?
Ooh, I love this. You have to visualize your success. Do I know how I'm gonna get there tomorrow? No, not really, because I don't have the exact path. Every little step forward, my consistency and my hard work and my effort gets me closer to that vision. Don't worry about what's going on around you. Don't shove a square peg in a round hole. Like, if something's not working, it's probably not working for a reason, so don't force it.
When navigating all of this, who is your support system?
I have the most amazing family. My boyfriend's incredible, and my friends. I've had the incredible opportunity of being a part of accelerator groups and entrepreneurship groups. Entrepreneurship is a very social but very lonely world. Like, sometimes you feel so alone, like trying to figure out your own problems or your business or whatever's going on.
From both companies that you've created, what's been your proudest moment?
Ooh. Personally, my proudest moment was being on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. I remember being 25 when I started Fueled, and I was like, I don't know why I feel like this is gonna get me on the list. The person who nominated me was a random person on Instagram. I still don't know this person.
Wow. I
see this thing come in, and it was like, I'm looking for the owner, and I was like, oh, it's another scam. Like, here we go.
Probably.
So, yeah, I'm like, hey, it's me, whatever. I need you to fill out this Google Doc. I was like, okay. So I open it, and like on the top, it's like, it says Forbes 30 Under 30 on it, and I was like, okay, is this person for real or are they like just stealing my information? Submit it in. I knew nothing for months. I was like, that was a scam.
Right.
Time goes on, senior editor of Forbes emails me like, hey, one last quick question for your bio. And I wrote back like, does this mean I'm on the list? And I never got like a reply from her. Whatever day they come out, I get this email, congratulations, you're on Forbes 30 under 30. I'm in a farmer's market. I was screaming, oh my God, I made it!
People around you are like, are you okay?
The microgreens guy who's like, huh? I was like, I'm on the list.
He's like, you're scaring away business.
He's like, okay. Like he had no clue what I was talking about. But for me personally, that was like a huge accomplishment.
Wow.
I started this in hopes of helping individuals with disabilities
Of course.
get a job. I think the coolest thing that's come out of it was one of our employees has now started her own business. Like
Love
just,
that.
I mean,
the sheer empowerment. Where can you find all your products?
our products can be found online on our website at fueledbyafsnacks.com. Agora Market down in Chicago has the nut butters. These bites here, we're in about 60 locations across the U.S. We're starting to come up more in Hilton hotels and different hotel groups. Grab and go convenience stores, so like we're in O'Hare and Terminal 3. These variety packs are exclusive to our site.
Where would you like to see your business go in 5 years?
What I would love to see is we are like conquering all 50 states with retailers in all 50. We are bigger in our manufacturing plant, and I hope one day in 5 years I stand up and say that we're the #1 employer for individuals with disabilities.
I love that.
Thank you.
You go, girl. You are kicking butt.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
You're very welcome. Folks, that does it for another episode of The Locals. Interested in more stories about courageous entrepreneurs and understand how business works? You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you again next time. You rock. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was great.